They see I hoop out, they like shit when I ball. AM to the PM on my grind until I fall. Switching is the mission, double when I'm done. Ballin' like LaMelo with a dish, 1 of 1. Till I fall, ball till you fall. Till you fall, ball till you fall. Till I fall, till you fall. Till you fall, ball till you fall.
Welcome to the BALL2UFALL Fantasy League show. I have special guest Jerry Hanna in the house. He is the founder of BALL2UFALL. Thank you, man, for starting the league. Appreciate all that, man. Everybody enjoying the fruits of the labor that you created, man. I'm just piggybacking off of your success, man, for the previous years.
Nah, man, you taking the league to new heights, man. I'm enjoying it as a fan right now. All the stuff, the creative videos, the special guests, expanding the league to live games. All of that's real hot, Robert. Real hot.
So we're going to go ahead and dive into it, man. We're going to have a little short show on the Sunday. We got the Super Bowl next week, so we're going to go ahead and knock this last show out. And next week, we're going to be completely off. So the first topic, man, Caris Levert just got traded from the Pacers to the Cavaliers. Is that a big deal, and does that change anything as far as your mind? As far as, like, you think the Cavs going to be a contender? Does it mean anything? What's your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I definitely think this pushes them a little bit further in the playoffs. From the guard position, I guess it was Rubio that they traded, I think you said, Robert.
Yep.
I think it pushes them a little bit further in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to totally like win the East or anything like that. Where does Levert even rank in the tier of guards?
He's not having a great year. But I just kind of feel like once they came out and made the statement that everybody is tradable, Sabonis was, going to get traded, Turner's getting traded, Brogdon. I think at that point everybody kind of just started playing for self, and that's my feelings. But I feel like it's gonna be he gonna have a breath of fresh air over there, man. I think he's gonna start balling again. It's a perfect fit, man, because I love where they're gonna put him at. You know what I'm saying? Because you got Mobley at 6'10", 6'11", whatever he is. Then you got Jared Allen at center. Now you can just put Levert to me at the 3. Garland can run the 1, and then whoever they want to stick at the 2, or they can mix it up. But they got some talent at every spot, and everybody's gonna produce. I think they're dangerous, man.
How tall is Levert?
6'5" to be exact, if I'm not mistaken. Might be 6'6".
I mean, what he was doing in Brooklyn was really a part of their hot little nucleus when they were over there in Brooklyn. And I hated to see them break that whole squad up because I think they actually need some of those dogs that they were working with before. Okay. And he's definitely a high energy guy. I think he'll definitely add to that, but I don't see them winning the East. They're going to make trouble for somebody in the playoffs, but I don't see them quite winning the East. They probably need a little bit more something else to truly take over the East, but it may spell trouble for somebody in the first round.
No doubt. And shout out to Kyle. Kyle has Levert on his fantasy league. Hey Kyle, love you, man, but I don't think you're gonna make the playoffs this year, man. It looks bad for you. I offered you a trade a little bit earlier, so I hope you accept it. I think I offered you Jeremy Grant for. Man, I forgot. I offered him Jeremy Grant for somebody on his squad, but I'm just trying to help him out. See if I can get him a budding star or something, man. Because Jeremy Grant's about to get traded too, so I'm trying to help him out. But Everett's like really happy, which is new to BALL2UFALL. I know he's happy about this trade. I tried to reach out to him earlier, but I'm sure he probably feels that this is definitely going to be a championship move. But I'm definitely gonna watch them. I don't think they're gonna do much else, but I think going forward they got something. And I don't know if you heard the news, Jay, but they said LeBron is willing to leave the Lakers to play with Bronny. To me, it's a perfect setup.
Okay, now it is time for the part of the show where we watch a rumor grow into a story. And it started with my friend Bill Simmons, who I think last week tweeted this. We are like 5 days away from the first unsubstantiated LeBron loves what he's seeing from the young Cavaliers and might want to finish his career there story. And I honestly can't wait.
I don't know about you, but when that smoke is fired.
Well, I'm going to go back real quick and address that. I know Kyle misses the 40 to 50 points that Levert was going to give him tonight because he might have won, but not today. That's my boy, but I'm happy to go ahead and break this tie because if we was tied, he got the tiebreaker over me. But to skip forward to LeBron, I mean, if they lay a goose egg, like not make the playoffs or lose in the first round, the Lakers being this year, I think LeBron might decide to move quicker than not. I mean, what is he staying in LA for? Especially if they supposedly not willing to move Russell Westbrook. Why would he stay there? I don't know. But LeBron's been known to do that. I think that kind of fits his MO. Yeah. Just skate out and just grab another squad or where he think LeBron ain't got 1 more year, 2 more years left?
Yeah, I think he got 2 more years because he has. Next year is his senior year, then his first year in college. So 2 more years.
2 more years. So, he might stick around, but they got to deal with this Westbrook situation. I know it's not totally his fault, but I think Frank Vogel is out next year, and they got to deal with this Westbrook situation. There was some speculation talking about, a handful of players in New York because New York could really stomach his contract and not lose a lot of their assets as far as like draft picks and maybe Deal Barrett or what's the other forward there in
Julius Randle.
Julius Randle. There was some speculation around that. I think it might surprise us. They might make a move and find. I don't think they have too many fits for Westbrook out there financially, but New York has a favorable budget to be able to take on Westbrook and not lose a bunch of trades, not trades, but draft picks, high draft picks.
So we're going to go ahead and jump into the next topic. This is a topic I've been thinking about for years, and it's not popular, but Jay, you're the perfect person to talk to about it because you're not biased. And on top of that, like, you don't hate LeBron, you don't love LeBron, you just kind of like, an independent spirit, man, that can kind of talk about this. But the topic we're going to dive into is everybody always says LeBron makes his teammates better. I have a little kickback to that. I feel like when he doesn't play, statistically, all his teams play worse when he's not there. So, real talk, is he really making his teammates better, or is he spoon feeding them? That's the question I have for you. What do you think about that?
I think it's a matter of age. I think when LeBron was younger, he could get away with it more, right? Because he was doing a lot on his own. He was also dishing the ball. He wasn't sitting on the ball. You know how Barkley got old and Barkley started sitting on the ball? Yeah. He contributed a lot to those teams. Marley came along and really, helped those teams out. But like as LeBron gets older, he can only do these a couple of trick ponies, even though he's far more athletic than still a lot of people in this league. But I think the way he holds on to the ball is detrimental a lot of times. And so he is the point guard. They don't have a traditional point guard. LeBron is the point guard. They let go of all the little young talent to get Westbrook in there. They had some active guards that could defend. LeBron is not defending them small active guards on the other floor. And you see, like, when they had their little run before AD came back, he was in the post. He was playing in the post. And I think that's really that LeBron needs, in his older age, he needs to transition to a power forward. He does not need to be a ball dominant presence on a team anymore, because he could be a power forward and still dominate the game. Kind of like Magic did when he played center a little bit. But I think he needs to get away from bringing the ball up and down the court all the time, man. That's the problem. I think I'm a LeBron fan. I want to see him win just because he's old now, but no. Mm-mm.
See, I struggle with this, right? Because I know the entire history. But let's go back to the first run with the Cavs. You know, I want to say their best team, the first go around was him, Mo Williams, Zydrunas Ilgauskas. You can kind of sprinkle in Bouger and Virgil. I just don't feel like after he left, none of those guys got any better. So let's move on to the Miami Heat. I don't feel like Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole, Chris Bosh, D-Wade. I mean, D-Wade, I'm not going to count D-Wade because he was already what he was. But I just don't feel like none of those players did anything after he left. So then
well, hold on, Robert.
Okay.
Bosh had to really be in a position that he was never in before. Okay. It took a while for him and D-Wade to adjust to each other because both of them needed the ball, like who was going to be A and who was going to be B. LeBron came and shifted everybody out of their ordinary in those positions. Had they been able to sit in their positions in their prime, it might have been different, right? Because really, D-Wade doubled back and got another chip after that, right? Didn't D-Wade get a chip after LeBron left, or that was his
No, he got a chip. He got a chip before LeBron got there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I got it backwards. Yeah. But what I'm saying, if they would have been, Bosh was in Toronto, and I know Toronto wasn't this or that, but he was balling out in Toronto, and then came there and literally had to sit in the corner and wait for the ball.
I got you.
Like,
okay, so I'm gonna flip it, right? And this, I'm not poking LeBron. This is more about some of the legends where they always talking about, oh my gosh, they make their teammates better. So let's do LeBron and Chris Paul, right? As soon as Chris Paul departed from Blake Griffin and the rest of those guys, Blake Griffin turned into significantly a worse player. Significantly worse until when Chris Paul was playing with him. So did he really make him better, or did he spoon feed him? DeAndre Jordan, he can't even get a clock now. And there's some of those other players on the Clippers team, like they all have become bad. Redick was not as good of a player after he left Chris Paul. So my point to you is, to me, a Trae Young makes his teammates really better. When he doesn't play, Hunter still hoops. Capella still plays good. Capella doesn't play as great because he really gets spoon-fed. Then you go to somebody like Ja Morant. When Ja doesn't play, Memphis still wins. But with him, they're special. So all I'm asking you is...
But go back. There's two things about Blake Griffin and some of those players with an old regime almost. The game has also changed, and also those players could stay in those positions because the game wasn't so three-point centric. So to have a DeAndre Jordan or to have a Blake Griffin, you needed that on those era type of teams, right?
Yeah.
Blake Griffin just now maybe luckily getting his three-pointer together. Maybe. DeAndre Jordan don't have one at all. But other players at DeAndre's position can stretch the floor. So they are useless because they need a player to give them the ball, whether they're being technically spoon-fed or not. They still need somebody to give them the ball because they can't be on the floor any other kind of way. They're not going to be on the floor. There's no team that's going to put a player on the floor that can't stretch the floor anymore. So the game is evolving, and at the time they had to be fed the ball. That was the case. Think of all of the 80s through the early maybe 2010. You had a power forward. I mean, could Tim Duncan bring the ball down the floor? You had to give him the ball on the wing to either go baseline or shoot his little short jumper. LaMarcus Aldridge, he about fell out the league almost, if he not already out the league. Like, seriously, those players became useless because, I mean, Aldridge got his three-pointer together a little bit, didn't he? But they could be extinct because they can't stretch the floor. So they had to receive the ball from somewhere else. Whether LeBron, I agree with you on the whole Ja thing, but Ja is getting up and down the floor. He's playing, he's energy. He's adding to what they're doing. And there's other people that can maintain the ball there on their squad. There's other people that can bring the ball up and down the court. They've been throwing, 2 or 3 oops in one play. They're willing to pass the ball and be on the break. Ja ain't got to always be the one coming down the break. I just think those players are extinct. They don't have a place in the league anymore.
I got you. Yes, I guess my big take from this is like, to me, if you gave Steph Curry, the Lakers squad, and you gave him AD. This was like when LeBron first got there, and then they added AD with all that trade stuff, right? I feel like you add Steph and you add AD, I feel like that's straight turn up. But for some reason, when LeBron got AD, they got to figure it out and all this other stuff. But when Steph Curry gets somebody, it's instant. The world gets scared, like, oh man, I don't know what's about to happen. They just added KD. Like, this is about to get stupid up in here. Like, when LeBron gets something, it's always like, I don't know. Like, even when Chris Paul like messed with Harden, it didn't work right because CP3 needs to spoon feed people. He needs to produce a certain type of way. I just think that those guys don't really make people as good as people think. I think they spoon feed and not make teammates better. But I feel like KD, and I also feel like Steph Curry, I feel like they really make their people better. Because it's like, either you gonna shoot and grow with me, or you're not touching this rock. But LeBron and them are kind of like give people like little breadcrumbs, make them feel good about themselves, and then come playoff time, little Taylor Horton-Tucker. Watch what happens in the playoffs. Taylor Horton-Tucker's gonna be nowhere to be found. And it's because
I'll tell you this. I can agree with that to a certain extent, but I'll be Skip Bayless for a little bit. Steph Curry gets all of the credit that Draymond Green is doing on that team because Draymond moves the ball on that squad. You see how garbage Curry is from three right now because he shoots too much.
Huh?
He is, man. I'm telling you, Draymond moves the ball up and down court for that team and gets people the ball and plays defense. Curry just want to shoot and run off screens and stuff. He ain't the main person passing the ball. He can pass the ball, and he does do it well. But you look at him, he dribbles the ball a lot, and he shoots. Clay out there doing like this. Clay is waving for the ball. Draymond gets Clay Thompson the ball.
I guess.
Anyway, that's my little take. I agree with you on that. LeBron has to spoon feed his teams because he normally has lesser talent.
Yeah.
So maybe they can't think the game, but there's no reason. I could get out there and get a ball to Durant at the center at Washington Hills, and do well. I just think that LeBron never really has another person on the floor capable of doing something smart with the rock, getting it to the right person. Who else on LA is getting the ball to the right person? Is Westbrook doing that?
You know what, man? Westbrook has gotten worse in the Laker format. I don't know why. I mean, but I'm not, first of all, anybody that knows me knows I'm not a huge Russell Westbrook fan. I'm just not. But at the same time, I will be honest and tell you, man, he ain't never played this bad. So why is it so hard to play with LeBron? Like, it should not be that freaking hard. Like, first of all, let's just go over his stats, man. Career 27 point per game scorer. Career 8 assists, 8 rebound guy. 6'8", 6'9", a freak. Can play point guard, can play shooting guard, can play small forward, can play any position. It seems like if you give somebody a Westbrook, give somebody an AD or whatever, it seems like it should not be that hard to make this work. Why is it so difficult? Why is it always so difficult? Kevin Love and Kyrie, when they came to the Cavaliers, like, why was it so hard? Like, every time. Like, I just don't get it. If you great and then you pair me with some greatness, I'm gonna be great.
LeBron has to have the ball. Period.
We're going to close it out with this last topic, man. This is a GOAT conversation for Fantasy League. Who are your top 3 go-to guys on free agency? So, like, if you had to pick up somebody, man, you like, yo, I'm going to this guy. I know he's going to be there. I need me 20 Fantasy League points, maybe even 25. This is what I'm picking up.
I got to tell you the truth.
Yeah, no doubt.
I slipped in Melo there for a little bit because Melo will peak out if he got a favorable matchup.
No doubt.
He'll get you some needed points, especially if you need an additional player. I don't like there's so many people on O that you really ain't guaranteed 25 to 30 points out of nobody. And you forced to kind of come down to the bottom. I did Kevin Porter Jr. gets picked up a lot and thrown away a lot. What's the guy that George had early in the season that he was just like, man, he gonna be this or that. The guy out of Houston, the young kid out of Houston.
Oh, just Green. You picked him up today, Jalen Green.
Yeah, Jalen Green. I'll jump in and out of him because he'll wake up one day and then he'll fall to pieces one day. There's a lot. I think all those little third-tier players are like that. I think more than anything, it's not a particular person. It's what's their matchup and who did they do well against last time and who's out if they're going to get more clock. If they're already, not getting clock and they get, 5 and 5, they get some more clock, they're going to put up some numbers just by default, just by being on the floor.
Okay.
So it's not really a particular person. It's the matchup. I think Darren does a good job at evaluating the matchup and who's in and out. George does too. When I talk to G, he's like, well, such and such is out. More than anything is the deciding factor than just the person.
Well, in the last couple of years for me, man, Evan Fournier is go-to. Like, you gotta be very careful when you pick him up, but like he just does what you need him to do pretty much. It's not gonna be too much lower than at worst 15 fantasy league points. But he could get you 40 something. Like, I like those type of cats.
Yeah.
Somebody else, man, that I love. He probably like my GOAT, Lou Williams. Not now, but before, man. Lou Williams, man, he was. You get stuck with him too, man, because like he would go through like a streak where he would be like a star, and then he'll give you like 3 awful games, and you just stick with it. And then my favorites, man, is the Morris twins.
You always with the Morris twins. You and Randy throw the Morris twins around a lot. I think I took a little stint because y'all couldn't pick them back up off the waiver while y'all had moved down to the bottom.
Yeah.
But who let go of Harrison Barnes? Because he ain't coming back out of my lineup.
Oh yeah, now you know what, man? That was an awful mistake that I made. I touched the sky level, and I let him go.
He ain't coming back out of my lineup. I'm gonna ride that one all the way out, Robert.
We appreciate you guys checking in on us, man. Watching the Ball to You Fall show, man. Again, we taking next week off for the Super Bowl, so y'all enjoy that. Get your wings ready, get your beers, your shots. I got the Rams. Me and Randy got a little bet. He gave me 3 points. No, I gave him 3 points. I'm sorry. So, you got any bets, Jay?
This is gonna be hard for me to watch. But I like the quarterback from Cincinnati, man. And it's just right up the road, man. But good job on the league. I'm loving it. Keep up the good work. This year, man, I hope George gets a hat sponsor.
Do be having the special hats, though.
Yeah, like New Era, like something, man. I hope, because right now, man, the gap, man, he needs to take the dad hats after game, man. Like, please, somebody give us a sponsorship for hats this year.
No doubt. All right, y'all. We're finna close it out, man. I appreciate y'all watching, man. Remember, y'all either balling or you falling. So always be balling in my category. Just keep it balling, baby. The playoffs coming up, so get ready. Jay gonna be in the playoffs. I think he gonna try to knock somebody out.
That close. You remember early on in the fantasy league, like around the teen 2000s, when we had like 8 teams?
Yeah.
Like your whole squad was stacked.
Yeah.
And you was like, man, I don't want to give up none of these players, man. Like none of them.
Good time.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well, that's dope. That's dope, Rob.